It's happening. Shit's getting real. This is Sophia Musto, and I am so excited to have you here to share my stories with you because life is full of flavor. The purpose of the Zensetter podcast is storytelling, and I want to hear your story, and thank you for listening to mine. You're going to meet so many amazing friends along the way, so thanks for being here. Namaste and hairspray.
Hey, and welcome back to the Zensetter podcast. Today, I am interviewing one of my friends from Austin, Texas. I actually got to meet my friend in Zion, and Lindsey breaks down all things human design. So today on the podcast, you're going to learn something I bet you've never heard about. So let me take you over and introduce you to my friend, Lindsey. Thank you so much, Lindsey. So can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me here, Sophia. My name is Lindsey Means, and I'm a human design expert, coach, and educator. I'm a former hairstylist of 10 years, and I'm really passionate about bringing human design to the hair, beauty, service provider industry. And I don't really know what else to say.
Well, we're going to dive right into it. What is human design? I am so fascinated by it. And when I put it on my stories and I started asking my audience and even my clients, no one has ever heard of it. And when you first introduced me to it, I was like, oh my God, it's like you knew me without even knowing my name. So just break down all things human design. Let's go.
My favorite subject. So human design is like an operation manual for your mind and your body. And it combines ancient modalities of astrology, Kabbalah, I Ching, and the chakra system. And it's all about your energy. So whenever if you're listening right now and you're like, what is my human design? You can go to human design or hdchart.lindseymeans.com and you can get a copy of your chart. It's totally free. All you need is your birthday. And once your chart pops up, you might say, what the heck am I even looking at? That's what I said. It's like an alien language. There's a lot of terminology. There's a lot
Just
of
an example.
Yes.
Is what will pop up. If you are tuning into the YouTube channel, I'm actually showing this is a human design chart. So Lindsey can read all of this and explain it. And it's so wild. Okay. So
yeah.
And we'll have the link in the show notes to be able to take you. And how cool. Thanks for giving me this free resource to the audience.
But yeah. So you'll get your chart and I'll have all of this stuff on it. And the three most important things are your type, which is your energetic aura, your strategy, which every type has their own strategy. And that's what puts your body into cruise control. And then your authority, which is your decision-making mechanism. And there's tons of knowledge. You can Google it. You can, I have resources. You can DM me. There's a lot of information out there on the top three things. Now going deeper into what the numbers are, what the lines mean and all of that, I would highly suggest looking into a human design reader and having a session. But there's tons of books and there's a lot of knowledge out there. But in my experience, when I learned about human design, I thought it was a personality test and it said that I'm a manifesting generator. I was like, ooh, that's cool. And I started applying my sacral response. So I have an internal gut guidance system. And if you're a manifesting generator or generator listening to this, you have this also. And it's either going to say hell yes or hell no. So I started applying that and really quickly I started noticing a change in my life. And I did hair for 10 years and I had massive stress and anxiety the whole entire time. And when I learned where I was transmitting and receiving energy to and from my clients, most of that stress and anxiety went away. And that's why I'm really passionate about sharing this with hairstylists and service providers who are one-on-one with their clients all the time. And it's just such a powerful thing when you recognize your energy.
Right. So you just told us that you're the manifesting generator, right? And I am a projector. So there's only 5 types. Can you tell us the 5 types?
Yes. So I like to explain the 5 types as if they were all building a town. And the first type I talk about is the manifester. And the manifester is like the developer. And they're only 8% of the population. So if you're listening and you're a manifester, you're rare. And the manifester is the idea person. They're the spark, the idea. They get divine inspiration and they're here to bring it to earth, but they're not necessarily here to do all of the work. They light a match and bounce and let other people actualize their ideas. And you have a very powerful aura. Back in the day, the manifestors were the kings and queens. And that's why sometimes people react to you kind of weird, because you're really powerful and you've got a powerful aura. Next is a projector, which is Sophia, and you are 20% of the population. And if all the types are building a town, you're the architect. You take the developer's idea and you map it all out, and you are the lighthouse, you're the visionary. You see from this bird's eye view and point A to Z, and you're really here to lead and guide the generator types, which I'll talk about next. And they are 70% of the population. So as a projector, you're the lighthouse, and you're designed to be recognized for all of your strengths and beautiful ideas and whatever you've got going on. And you're here to know the other person. So your whole life, you've been studying people and you're really good at holding space for people. So
I'm a Zensetter.
Yes, Sophia, you're a beautiful example of a projector, just shining bright and letting people come to you, which is a huge part of it. So next is the generator, and the generator is 35% of the population. So the generator has 2 different types, the generator type and then the manifesting generator, which is a combo of the manifester and the generator type. So the generator is the slow and steady builder. You are here for mastery. You're here for perfection. You're here to go from point A to B and B to C, slowly building upon whatever it is that you're here to do on earth. And you're always going to have enough energy to do whatever it is that's a hell freaking yes. And we have generator types sometimes have problems with big picture planning. So having a Sophia in your life, having a projector in your life to help lead and guide you when you can't see the big picture is really powerful, and also staying in your zone of genius. So next is the other hybrid type, and the manifesting generator is 35% of the population. And we're the fast and efficient builders. So we work in sprints, we sprint and then we rest, and we sprint and we rest. So generators are the slow and steady marathon, and we're sprinting and resting, but we all get there at the same time. Manifesting generators find the fastest, easiest, most efficient ways to do things. We're a lot like the generator. We need help with big picture planning, and we're really here to do what lights us up. And then the last type is a reflector. And this is the most rare. And Sophia, your husband is a reflector, which is super cool.
And if people know Pat, they know that he is such an amazing soul. So this is really cool to find out. Thank you for sharing all this knowledge.
You're welcome. The reflector is like the interior designer. So the reflector, their environment is super important for them. If you're a reflector, you're like a cosmic mirror. And you are here to reflect your environment, to reflect the people around you. So if you don't feel good in your job or where you live, you're not in the right place. And if you're not feeling good mentally or emotionally or physically, it's because you're around the wrong people that aren't meant for you. And reflectors are so unique. They're only 1% of the population. And you're a lunar being. So the moon, you have 28-day cycle. And sometimes you need a lot of alone time. You need a lot of contemplation time. You need to give yourself time to make decisions, and just know that you're different from the entire population, and you're designed that way. And I always tell people, if you're a reflector, DM me, because I can go even more in depth, because it doesn't make sense to people who aren't reflectors.
Totally understand that. That's so cool. And then when you were explaining the types, you said a strategy. Are there 5 strategies, or are there more than 5 strategies?
Yes, the strategy is how you put your body into cruise control.
Okay.
So human design believes, and I also believe, that our body is the vehicle. And if we think about it, the body breathes by itself, it heals itself, the subconscious mind is running the show. So your strategy lets you know how to put your body into cruise control, so it can bring you to the people, places, things, opportunities, and lead you and guide you. And most of the time, we're trying so hard to take over and to control and take over the wheel. And so our strategy helps us to chill out and just trust that our body knows what's right for us. So each type has their strategy, and the manifester is all about informing. Just let people know what's going on your mind. And when you get inspiration, you want to just go act on it, but you got to let the people around you know what you're doing. Else they're going to ask you questions and slow you down. So inform people about your thoughts, your ideas, what your next step is, and then go do it. Inform and see you later. The next one is the projector. You kind of have 2 parts of your strategy. So the first part is to wait to be recognized. Wait for clients to come find you. Wait for those opportunities. Wait for partners. You're designed to shine bright, and trust that the right people are on their way. And then the second part is waiting to be invited. That's mainly for your advice. I would say 99.9999% of the time, when people are telling us their problems, regardless of what your human design is, they just want validation. Wow, that really sucks. Thank you for telling me. As a projector, when people are telling you their problems, you have this space where people want to come to you to tell their problems. You see from a bird's eye view, you see from point A to Z, you probably have the answer to their problem. So validate first, and then say something like, hey, I have some insight into this situation. Would you like to hear it? If you don't ask for the invitation to share your advice, it's not going to be received well. And my mom's a projector, and I used to tell her my problems. She'd be like, yeah, Lindsay, you could do this, this, and this. I'd be like, oh, God, get out of here, Mom. Like, I don't want your advice. But when she, yes, when she learned the hack that I told her, I didn't even know. She's like, Lindsay, I have some insight. Do you want to hear it? And I said, yes, please tell me. So it's just a little shift. And I'm curious, Sophia, have you noticed that, where if you asked first, like, you're received better?
Oh, absolutely. I've learned by trial by error in life. I coach people without even trying. I just am trying to be helpful, but I've learned that sometimes people just want validation, and I just respond by, thank you for sharing that with me. And then if I feel the invitation that the conversation needs to go further, I wait to be recognized, and then I kind of just flow from there.
I love that. And I'm sure you feel so much better. I know.
Yes.
When I started, I need to be asked to speak or to share advice too. So it's not just projectors, but there's a difference. You feel the difference when people don't want your advice. And then you're like, oh, that doesn't feel very good for either person.
I was like, damn it, I should have breathed before I spoke.
Yes. Well, we all have that. So as a projector, if you're listening, just ask first. And honestly, this applies to everyone. And then the generators, their strategy for both generator and manifesting generator is to wait to respond. And what that means is that we need to trust that the universe is bringing us all the things that we desire. And we're designed to respond with a hell yes or hell no. We're not designed to initiate or to force things to happen. And so when you just chill out a little bit and let the universe come to you and look at what am I responding to in my environment, a DM, an email, an opportunity, whatever. And we're generally taught to go make it happen, go do it, just do it. And so it's really learning how to trust your body and respond. And then the reflector, the strategy is to wait 28 days. And I have a whole theory on this. So if you're a reflector, feel free to connect with me. It's too much to go into on a podcast, but essentially you really need time. You have a particular 28-day cycle. So start paying attention to your moods and your thoughts and how you're feeling every 28 days, and maybe even think about following the moon cycles. And you're going to start to get to know your energy better because you're a shapeshifter and you essentially take on all of the types throughout the month. So you need a lot of time to make decisions to know if it's right for you if you're a reflector. But that's the strategy in a nutshell.
That's amazing. Now, what information do people have to have when they go on your site to find out their types?
Oh, that's a good question. So the website that I am sending you to is Genetic Matrix, and all you need is your birthday, your time of birth, and your location of birth. So it uses astrology, like an astrology chart, to see where the planets were with the time you were born. And then they kind of layer the other modalities, Kabbalah, I Ching, the chakra system on top of that to create your personalized human design chart. So the chart that comes up, that's who you are. It never changes. However, you are impacted by the people around you. So that's why if you're a service-based business owner or in relationships or with your family, you're exchanging energy. And when you have awareness of that, everything can just change so quickly.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you introduced this to me. I want to share this gift because you're a coach and you offer programs, you offer workshops, you give insight into like businesses to help managers in like service-based industries kind of find how to communicate and work together. What has been like one of your favorite working relationships that you've done with these one-on-one sessions?
Oh, so there's two really, really powerful sessions that I've had. And they were one was with a woman around her partnership. And her and her partner had been heavily talking about divorce. And I really just share the differences. That's the biggest aha, because we know who we are and we know our own energy. So we can relate to the same energy that we have with our partner or family or whomever. But when you have the awareness of what's different between you, that is super eye-opening. And I just shared that her partner was an emotional person and she wasn't. And that aha moment, a week or two later, she texted me and said, Lindsey, I've fallen head over heels in love with my husband again because I don't feel like I have to change him. And we're like happy and we're not talking about divorce anymore. I was like, oh my gosh, that is just so wild to have that instant sort of knowing. And you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And so that's the big part of the transformation that happens on a call. The second really powerful story was a girl who was also an emotional authority. And what that means is that you are transmitting emotions all of the time. And a lot of us are conditioned to feel like emotions are bad or stop crying or don't be a baby or suck it up or whatever. And she learned that she's an emotional authority and to embrace her emotions and say, I'm really sad right now. I'm just going to go be sad. And she told me she had taken a workshop with me a week prior. And I shared that. And then we had a one-on-one call. And she said, Lindsey, that was the first, got really bad news. And I was really sad. And I told my partner, I'm sad and I'm just going to lay in bed for a while. And he was like, okay, go be sad. And she said, I've never given myself permission to do that before. Aww. And that's why I love what I do.
Those aha moments, right?
All it takes is one.
I know. So you offer group sessions, couple sessions, one-on-one sessions. You'll even travel and offer these to businesses because this can help them. They can learn how to communicate, work together, understand that sometimes people might handle a project different, a client different, a conversation differently. Like, what's been a really cool aha moment for you with a couple?
The couple is the awareness of the differences.
Okay.
I had one couple who she was like, he is so stubborn and he's just got this fixed mindset and I can't handle it. And I looked and I was like, you're the stubborn one. He's just reflecting back to you. And the gratification on the guy's face and then her look, it was just like, it's me that I'm frustrated with. And if you haven't figured it out by now, your partner is your biggest teacher and your biggest mirror. And when you we all feel this energy. I think that's the other powerful thing is I'm literally telling you about you. Like you said, I almost every person is like, how do you know me? I feel like I'm like a fortune teller or something because I can just read this tool. And so I can read your energy and you already know all of this stuff. I'm just giving you a different perspective and that awareness of it's the differences. When you understand the differences, life just you become so much more compassionate to other people. You are more accepting of yourself. And it's just those are like what I live for, those moments.
Okay, I got a really hard question for you.
Oh, I love it.
How should you set the Thanksgiving table with these types of generators?
So
what would be like a powerful way to have the best Thanksgiving setup?
I think accepting everyone as everyone. Like really, it's funny because I shared like 8% is a manifestor and 70% are generators. So when I have gone into salons or different businesses or workshops, you can see that difference. So 70% of the dinner table is going to be the generator type. So they are asked them yes or no questions. And then the other people are going to be the non-energy types. And so if they want to go take a nap after Thanksgiving dinner, just let them take a nap or whatever. But the harmony, you start seeing how everyone works together and how they are different and how they are the same. So I think that I haven't been asked that question before, but it's just you're going to have a generator every other person probably. So just really feeling on their good vibes and their energy and enjoying yourself and all the delicious food.
Yes. And you can really find out your design before you go. And what a great conversation to really have those aha moments. Like I realized that I'm a lot of energy and I cannot be for everybody. So learning when to share was a really cool takeaway. And also learning that it's okay to rest and recharge, because a lot of us want to work till burnout and kind of these hustle culture. So this is a really cool way to understand your design and how you can build upon that. So how did you get into human design? What made you get into this?
I like to say that human design found me. So when COVID happened, I was still doing hair and I had 2 months off and I was hanging out in some entrepreneur group and someone said, do you know what your human design is? I said, no, tell me more. And I thought it was a personality test. So I took the test and discovered I was a Manny-Gen and started applying it. And I forgot about it. Then it popped into my universe again and I became obsessed. I've read every book I could get my hands on. I've run hundreds of charts. I'm like, give me your birthday, give me your birthday. And I've experimented with myself. And at the end of the day, this is not a belief system. It's just knowledge and information to say, here, go experiment with it. Start getting to know yourself. They say that it takes 7 years to fully live by your design. So I've just been experimenting with myself every single day. And anyone else in my, Sophia knows, like anytime we have a conversation with any of my friends, I'm like, oh yeah, that's because you've got an open solar plexus and this is why. And so I just always talk.
It's amazing because when you look at this chart, it's like, what am I looking at? As you said, and you break it down even like from the thoughts and the numbers of like everything. I highly suggest if you are having some conflict in your life, or if you are having these questions as to why, this is a really good foundation to really understand who you are and who you were designed to be, and how your body is the vehicle to get you there. So if you like hate your job, it might be your body's way of telling you. If you're suffering and you're having stomach issues, this could be relatable. This might be when the doctor can't find the reason why. These are the questions to ask. Thank you, Lindsey. So where can the viewers find you? What's the best way to connect?
I hang out on Instagram the most, and I am Lindsey Means with an underscore, and the link will be in the show notes. Feel free to DM me. I could literally talk about this all day, and I've got resources, one-on-one calls. I'm probably coming to a city near you soon. So yeah, just connect with me. I love talking to people.
Oh, well, we love listening. I love that you share this knowledge. And I think families could really use this before heading to the table for Thanksgiving. And maybe your business could need this for some teamwork and some collaboration to look to build a better end of the year for fourth quarter, or really start your new year out with a good foundation and understand your design and understand the designs around you and see everybody with these eyes of love. So thank you so much, Lindsey. And we loved having you on the podcast. Check out the show notes and come on, tell me your design. Hit me up in my DMs, Lindsey and her DM, and we want to learn what your aha takeaway was after you find your design. So thanks for tuning in, and don't forget, namaste and hairspray.